All right, this is going to be the first of a series of tutorials as promised to everyone who attended the Beginner Card Magic for Kids class in the Rookery at RavenCon 17 this year. The first series of tutorials are going to match the card tricks that were taught in the class. As promised, these are going to go up first. They're going to go up fairly quickly after the con. And that way you can double check and anything you may have forgotten since the class. One of the main things that I wanted to do this year, as opposed to the previous year, was I wanted to go in and give anybody who attended the ability to walk out with several tricks in their pockets that they could do if somebody challenged them in the way that sometimes somebody else will take the deck and they'll give it a shuffle. Nice, quick, sloppy shuffle, and then put it back down and go, okay, now do something with it. Or they pull out their own deck and you've never even had your hands on it, and they put it down and go, do a trick. Do a trick. Now do a trick. And you know, you've never even touched the deck. So you couldn't have done anything with it. You couldn't have set anything up. I wanted to teach a few tricks that did not require any setup whatsoever. And that's what our first few tutorials are going to be. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. This is going to be a prediction trick. Before we do the tutorial, anybody who's interested, tonight's deck is the Bicycle Grasshopper deck. It's, as you'll see as we're going through the trick, it's actually a very fun little playful deck. You're not going to find this in too many stores. This is done through Bicycle Cards, but this is a original deck through playingcarddex.com. If you like the deck and you want to get yourself one, that's where you're going to have to go to get it, playingcarddex.com. So, without further ado, this is a prediction trick. So somebody else either shuffles the cards or they pull out their own deck of cards. Now you have to do the trick. So you take the cards. All right, this is what's going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is a prediction trick. I am going to predict cards that you are going to take out of this deck. So give me a second. Let me find my prediction cards. That one. Yeah, that one. I don't know. I'm not feeling the third card for some reason. I don't know why. You know, I'm just going to go with that one. So, all right. We're going to put these three cards right here. These are going to stay in plain view the entire time, and other than squaring them up right now, I'm not going to touch them. These are the prediction cards. My prediction is you will pull similar cards out. It's not going to be exactly the same. We only have one deck. So if I were to pull, say, a 7 of hearts out, that doesn't mean you're going to pull a 7 of hearts. There's only one 7 of hearts in the entire deck. What it's going to be is based on value and color. So 7 of hearts means a red 7. So if I had put a 7 of hearts in this pile, that means you're going to pull the 7 of diamonds, a red 7. So that's the nature of the prediction. It's going to be value and color. That's all. You ready? Okay. Here's how we're going to get your cards. We're going to do this to let you kind of find cards at random. Now, I need you to cut the deck. Don't cut it too deeply just yet. You'll understand in a moment. All right? So go ahead and cut the cards. All right. Now, take the cut deck. Turn it face up. Now, place it back down on here. All right? Now, cut the cards again, but deeper than you just cut the deck. turn everything upside down. Now, put them back down in my hands. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to find the first face down cards we can find. That's going to be your first card. All right, let's do it again. Cut the deck. Turn it upside down. Turn it face up. Put it back down. Cut the deck again. Turn everything upside down. Put it back. All right. Once again, we're going to find the first face down card. That's your second card. Last time. Cut the deck. Turn it face up. Put it down. Cut deeper. Turn everything over. Put it back down. And we will find the first face down card, which is going to be your third and last card. All right. So you pulled these cards at random. You controlled how many cards you cut each time. There was no way I could have known how deep or shallow you were going to make your cuts. So turn your cards over. And you have a red queen, a red 3, and a black king. All right. My prediction cards, which have been in plain view the entire time, are a red 3, a red queen, and a black king. All right. The trick here, the secret to this trick is incredibly simple, very easy to learn. I'm going to put these 3 cards on the top. I'm going to put these 3 cards different locations of the deck. You pick up the cards. You start looking. You look at the first 3 cards. When you're doing all of this, the first thing you do is you look at the first 3 cards. In this case, Queen, 3, Black, King. Then you start going through to find their counterpoint parts, which, by the way, if you just noticed, I called that Queen, 3, Black, King. I have found that it's easier if you only identify one color. Like every time you do it, just identify one. The only one, when I do this trick, the only one that I identify in my brain by color are the black cards. So it's Queen, 3, Black, King. If it was this, it would be 3, Black, 9, Black, 3. And the reason that I do that is as I'm like going through, I don't want to come back and look at this again. Because if you start looking at your first 3 cards, it's going to kind of start looking suspicious. If you only tag one of them by color, it's going to be easier to remember your colors. You're not trying to remember, I had a red queen and a black king and a red 3, so I need to find Queen, 3, Black, King. And if it was reversed, you know, King, Black, Queen, Black, 3. Just identify one in your head. Trust me, it'll be easier to do. So you look at this and it's like Queen, 3, Black, King. All right. So as you're going through, there's your 3. Up jog that. You keep looking. Yeah, I'm not sure. Kind of remember. Now there's your red queen. There's the which I'm actually going to pass for a minute because I'm going to go through. I know where that is now. I don't know that one, but I don't know. I'm not feeling the third card right. I'm not sure. Maybe okay, maybe that one. Kind of you're not just going through and picking cards. Overshoot one of them. Like go past it, come back to it. Make it look kind of like you're not just looking for cards. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. You're going to go through, you're going to find the cards. And maybe you're not sure. You're feeling this process out. That's kind of how you want to do the performance. You put the 3 cards down. In this case, I'm going to leave them face up. So you've got Queen, 3, Black, King. Those are the top cards. Now, there's other ways to do what I'm about to do, and I'm going to show you another one in a second. But when you're trying to get them to select your cards, just the general psychology of anything with people, but especially card tricks and things like that. The second you start shoving the cards back at somebody, giving them instructions, a lot of times they're not going to think about what they're doing. They're focusing on, okay, getting the instructions right and wondering what's going on. This might not be the best way to select the cards. It's the best way for beginner if you don't have certain other skills. But I'll show you how this works. You tell the person, cut the deck. Turn the cards face up. Place them back on the deck. Now I'm going to offset this a little bit. Place them back on the deck. Cut deeper than you did the first time. Turn everything over. Put it back down. Now, that you go through and you tell a person, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the first face down card. You find the first face down card, immediately flip those to the bottom so that you don't accidentally stack them back on the top. And the first cards are going to be the top 3 because all you've done, they cut the deck, turned it over, put it down. They've cut deeper, turned everything over, put it down, and they've brought the first 3 cards back to being the first 3 face down cards. So you're basically just flipping the cards twice, and they're going to end up pulling off one of the 3 cards you've looked at, the 3 cards you looked at the beginning. There's another way to do this that doesn't look quite as obvious. It's going to take a little bit more practice. And it's actually a fairly common trick. You'll actually use this in multiple other tricks, including one other trick that we went over in the class, or that I went over with some people at RavenCon, that I'll be doing a tutorial to. And that's forcing the top card to the center of the deck. And we're going to do that by, you tell the person, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to choose your cards this way. I'm going to riffle the deck. When I'm riffling, you say stop. And when you say stop, I will stop. I will cut the deck. You will take the card off the deck. All right, we'll do this again. Find you a card in the center. Riffle. Stop right there. That's good. All right. Second card. And here we go. Riffle. Stop. That's good. Cut the deck. Those are your top cards. What I just did, Queen of Hearts on the top, what we just did was, when I riffled, I'm getting ready to cut this top off. Clamp down these fingers. And what happens, let me turn this upside down so you can see it better. What happens is you're clamping these fingers down, and that's going to hold the top card. So when you riffle, cut, you hold, the top card is held by your fingers, and then it pops down to the position that they told you to stop at. So you have moved the top card to the center of the deck, and hopefully in such a way that they don't realize that you've done it. And therefore, you do that 3 times, and you feed them the top 3 cards in the deck. No matter where they riffle to, you're going to, King of Diamonds on there, okay. No matter where they riffle to, you are going to do this, and the top card is going to go where you want it to go. That's going to take a little more practice. If you want to start doing the trick and just messing with friends, you can do the turn it over, find the top card, find the first face down card, blah, 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 blah. If you want to put in a little bit more practice, you can do the force card pardon me, you can do the force card trick and drop all 3 cards down into the center, and it'll look a little better, and they're not going to be able to if you get good at it, they're not going to be able to notice it, and it's not going to you're not going to run into as many people who are going to be suspicious and figure that out as quickly as sometimes you might run into someone that basically figures out all you're doing is turning the cards over twice, so there's your top card. So there's 2 different options on how you can force the cards on them, but that's the trick. You do not have to have ever seen the deck of cards. They could shuffle it, they could produce it, could be their cards. You just pick the cards up, you look at the top 3 cards, and then you find their counterparts in the deck. There's one thing here that we're going to do, just to go over it in case something happens. Don't let it throw you. Do not get fixated with the idea that you're looking at the top 3 cards and you always have to look at the top 3 cards. Sometimes something like this will happen. You open it up, and in your top 3 cards, there are the 2 counterparts to each other. Both the black aces are in the top 3 cards. Don't freeze up. Don't panic. There's a simple way to get around this. One of these is no longer your first 3 cards. One of them is your prediction card, and that then makes the next card in line the 3rd card. So instead of the first 3 cards, the real 3 cards being a 3, a black ace, and a black ace, now it's a 3, a black ace, and a queen, right? It's as simple as that. If you get 2 of the same cards in that first 3, that's your first prediction. Go on to the next card to make that your 3rd card. So now you're looking for the red queen and a red 3, right? So that's the trick. That's the tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have fun with it. Until the next time, have a good one.